Hey folks, just a friendly reminder that all shows on the Madness Comic Network are produced by their individual hosts and in no way reflect the opinions of the network as a whole. The statements in the following broadcast are not necessarily the opinions of the Madness Comic Network, its staff, sponsors, or contributors. This show is rated TVMA, as are all of them and all those other letters. Viewer discretion is highly advised, and, just do what Doc says. Read that again. Peace, everybody.
Well, I'll tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century.
What?
But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
Who am I, you ask? I was created in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the waste of a dying world. I was bestowed with an insurmountable task: bring peace after decades of death, persecution, and chaos. I am a grandchild of war, destined to help 2 camps which hate has fueled for far too long. Surprisingly, I am not alone. Have an odd bunch to make the road a little more bearable. Come with me to bring hope where there was despair, respect where there was resentment, creativity where there was destruction. I am Pinocchio, and this is my story.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Say, give it to me straight, doctor. I can take it.
Kick the chocks out from under the wheels. Flaps up. No offense, Margaret. Contact. We're off. Rum, rum.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
The doctor is in. What's going on, everybody? Oh my God, we got a good show today. I'm overwhelmed by the goodness. My computer's acting funny. Stand by 1 second. Listen, you asked, and we answered.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Gordon Shumway, nice to meet you. Interested in a new Buick?
Nonsense. I've not yet begun to defile myself.
I'll make you famous.
Hey.
He's back. The rumors of his demise were slightly exaggerated. Welcome back, Tanner.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Oh, my God, man. You were sorely missed, my friend.
Yeah, I missed you guys. I'm telling you, like, you know, we got hit by the storm, and you know, things were good except for a little internet outage that
Right.
just destroyed everything. You know,
I look, my chat was going crazy, man. It's like, where's Tanner? What have you done with Tanner? Where's Tanner? It's like, look, God bless America. This ain't Tanner's show. It's my show. What the fuck? And look, at first I was wondering, Tanner, you know, I didn't say this to the chat, but I was going, did I offend Tanner? He's not even responding to my messages.
Oh no. You know, and I knew something like that was going to happen because everyone was trying to get a hold of me. You know, I had family, I had friends, I had, you know, there was all kinds of things going on, and then I just went dead. You know, like blacklisted everybody.
So,
they're like,
he ghosted me. But then one day Tanner reached out. You know, he got to a Wi-Fi signal, and he responded. And I can imagine how many responses you were having to send out.
oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Yeah, and then he went dark again. I'm like, well, son of a bitch.
You know, well, that was the thing. Like I had realized I was taking my wife to work, and I had realized I had Wi-Fi through the hospital. You know,
Right.
system. So I was like, cool, okay, I can send out a message. But then I go back home, and it's like, oh, radio silence all over again.
So I got to ask you though, Tanner. We all know that this is true, but did you experience how wonderful it is not to have the internet around?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like my kids and I, we did a lot of board games. Watched a lot. We dug out DVD players. You know, I know this is gonna be like foreign to a lot of people watching. You know, there's these things called DVDs. They were like CDs, little records. You know, what's a record? No.
Yeah.
My mind's blown. But no, we dug out all that stuff, and in life was like the 90s for a little while, and it
Life
you know,
finds a way.
my kids like detox from technology. They actually stopped acting like entitled little things.
You know, hey, it's an ill wind as blows no one no good. Levi Skeen in the house. What's up, Levi? Good to see you. Abo Grizz in the house. Carrie, as though she could detect your presence, says hi. And Stephen B
Carrie
in the house. Stephen B, good
hail,
to see
hail.
you as always. Wonderful to see all you guys hanging out. Of course, our lurkers. Ghost Pepper over on Pilled is watching. Hail to you, Ghost Pepper. We're going to bring this other cat out here now, since we have a interesting guest today. And I'm going to preface it by saying this. A lot of comic book creators, they work day jobs. You know, you're cooking somewhere. I know one guy that works at Walmart. You know, another guy is my publisher. He's a high-end bartender at a high-end resort. They have day jobs. Our guest today's day job is cooler than our hobby. He's a very successful stand-up comedian. Before I bring him out, I'm going to bring our producer out, though, to join us. Welcome, Pops.
That's it. I'm going to kick your ass. Then I'm going to reenact kicking your ass.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Get the fuck out of here! Say it! Say it!
And thanks for coming out and dying on stage, Pops.
Horrible timing.
If you got to go. I mean,
I think that was flawless timing. Flawless timing. I'm a fucking genius. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Deese Casillas.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Deese?
How you doing?
Doing all right. Deese, tell people very quickly, who the hell are you?
I am an internationally touring stand-up comedian, host of the weekly podcast, The Social Hour, going on almost 11 years now we've been doing the show. and writer, and extra in movies you've never seen. So,
me too. I've done that. Deese, let me tell you my brush for stardom. Are you ready? Remember, we all know that. I forget what movie it was, but Richard Dreyfuss was in the lobby of a hotel, and Harrison Ford brought him a telegram, and that was Harrison Ford's debut, and he just said, "Telegram for you, sir."
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that was his claim to fame, right? I almost had that moment. There was a movie, and I was the director of a program for felons that were in recovery for addiction. And they had the opportunity to make money as extras on days they weren't required to be in the classroom. And I was like, all right, cool. But I have to have a speaking line in that movie. Because one of my girls in there who had a degree, she had become an assistant to the casting director handling the extras. And I said, you get that word to him that he doesn't get any of my people unless I get at least one speaking line. They came back, they got with me, and they agreed. And
what was your line?
It was I had to get in my deep Southern accent and go, why did you even bother coming back here? Now, on the day of the shoot that I was to have my line, I got my wake up call from them, because they will call you and wake you up 4 o'clock in the morning. No big deal for me. I'm already awake at 4 every morning anyway. But I answered the phone. Hello. My voice was gone. Gone.
No.
I had bronchitis and I had coughed myself completely hoarse. So I blew it. I lost my Deese. I lost my intro to Hollywood.
Get the ADR that thing. Just do it in post. You know?
Yeah, no, not on the budget they had.
Well, that's better than my claim to fame. My claim to fame is I used to date Rachel Dolezal. If anyone remembers who that is, didn't you guys remember who that is?
It's ringing a strong bell. Help me.
I'm so glad nobody remembers who that is. So she was this girl who pretended that she was black. So she was in the head of the NAACP.
Yes.
Yeah. I met this girl long before she was pretending to be black, or as if she wasn't. Like, I certainly knew she wasn't black. Like, she was very obviously white. Although she had a voluptuous ass, I will say that. It was nice. But beyond that, she was like obviously white.
She was cute.
Yeah, she was cute. And we dated casually for a while, but long before this whole thing that with her little blow up happened.
Now.
Yes,
now,
that was in Spokane. I actually lived in Spokane for a while. That's when that happened. So
yeah. Now, first of all, that had to be great fodder for stand-up material.
Yeah, it's so funny. I had one joke about it, but like I haven't talked about it that much yet, and I really would like to, but I feel like the time has passed because I don't know if people, news cycles are so quick. I don't know if people remember her, and that's the thing too. Is like part of the reason I didn't write jokes about it that much is because it's so regionally specific too. Like anyone in the Northeast,
but they might not remember the name.
Yeah, but like if I would
remember the deed.
Like when I was in like Arizona or Florida, people didn't really know who she was, or I'd have to involved explaining too much.
Right.
To get to the point. So I'm like, it's not worth it. You got to the faster you can get to the joke, the better. And it just wasn't ubiquitous enough.
Yeah. Now I went out with a girl. Speaking of fraudulent shit, I met this girl. She was cute as a button. This is way back when I was in college. Excuse me. No, I was doing my post-grad, and this was right after 9/11. And if you'll remember, there was a couple from Georgia who claimed each other as having died on 9/11 at the World Trade Center. They were both alive and well. They scammed. It was a scam. It was their daughter that I went out with. And
wow.
She starts telling me this story, and of course she's beat red, embarrassed by it. And I'm like, well, I mean, you didn't do it. So, you know, and I was thinking, you know, okay, she's cute. I can get through this. I can muscle through. We had gone to get sushi. And over the course of the next 30 minutes, she was the most bizarre weirdo I have ever sat down and had a meal with. I took her home and she goes, should I call you? I said, no, don't bother. We're not doing this again.
Yeah, I don't know, that feels like someone you want to at least keep in your back pocket, right? Like, you know, she's down for some lowbrow shit.
Yeah, right.
You know, at least, you know,
We want to get them to something shady.
Yeah, you're not taking her home to the family for Christmas, but listen, if it's we're going to be your shit. We're going, you know, you got to scam. Let's go. She knows someone who can make fake passports. That's a lady.
Right. Everybody needs that one friend.
I need
You
that.
know, they've got a printing press in the basement.
Yeah, you know, yeah. I'm not saying I'll, you know, cop to them in court, but I at least want to keep that number in my Rolodex.
Yeah, it's good times in a bizarre world. You know, you just got to roll with it. You got to roll with it. Deese, first of all, this guy's got cred. Okay, show him your room.
Oh, yeah. This is, if you can see, this is
you comic nerds. Take a look.
It gets crazy. I was telling Doc for the show, there's probably about I would say close to 35,000 individual comic books, 3,000 trade paperbacks, and probably 100 and some slabs, as well as a collection of Marvel Legend figures and vintage Ninja Turtle shit.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is, my man's got cred. Okay, yes, he's a stand-up comic, but that's his day job. That just finances his hobby.
Yeah, basically.
He's got about 5 times as many comics as I do.
Oh man, yeah. I've got collection on collection. I've been trimming it a little, getting rid of some stuff, but yeah, I'm more into going more towards the golden age and filling out some silver age stuff right now.
There you go. So
what got you into it?
Oh man, I've always loved comic books ever since I was a little kid. Like I remember when before I like even owned comic books, when I'd go to the grocery store with my mom, there was a spinner rack right by the pharmacy that would have at the grocery store. They have like just, you know, right, because that's how you got most comic books back in the day. They weren't LCSs everywhere, so it was there, and I would just go and I just sit there on the ground on this linoleum and just read comic books till my mom was done shopping. You know,
right.
Groceries. I'll be like, I'll be right here, and I just sit there and read. Or so I always loved the medium. I mean, I was always a writer. I always wanted to be a writer, but when I found comic books, I really wanted to do comic books too. I mean,
we talked before, Deese. We both had the same thought when we were kids. Somebody's getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
And well, I could do that. So what were you into when you first started collecting? What really grabbed that groove for you?
Well, my first comic book ever was I have it right here.
Nice.
Guardians of the Galaxy number 21.
Snap! I got that one.
1991. That was the first comic book that was ever mine, that like I own, not the first one I read by a long shot. But I reread this comic book probably. This is actually not the original copy I had. That got stolen in a collection. But this book, the one I had was tattered because I reread it hundreds of times. But that was my first comic book that was mine. Then I got into Guardians of the Galaxy. I was reading Avengers West Coast. I was a big X-Men guy. I really loved, like, how I knew I was weird is because I loved X Factor, like Peter David's run on X Factor.
Yeah.
I was probably too young to really understand fully how weird that was. Until I got older and started understanding Peter, what he was doing in that book. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that. That's how I knew I was on a different vibe with comic books, you know, what I liked. So, you know, I mean, I got into the mid 90s and was reading stuff like the Max and, which still is, to me, is one of the most underrated masterpieces in comic book medium ever. It's not
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, Sam Keith's art is one of a kind, but that story is just, if you really read that story, man, and really willing to like chop it up, it is absolutely a masterpiece of like trauma and loss and PTSD and dissociative personality disorder, and really like a psych piece.
We did a deep dive into that on one of Tanner's great moments in comics history. Sam Keith caught lightning in a bottle.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to give it up. William Mesner Loebs, I think, was able to direct that crazy. If he was doing it alone, and that shows in the later issues of Max when Loebs left, he kind of lost the ball on the plot, lost the plot a little bit. But the whatever initial story Sam Keith had was so brilliant, and Loebs was able to direct that perfectly.
Yeah, that's it reflects, and I don't know if this is the same for you, Deese, but as a writer artist, I'll go into a zone just sitting quietly in my living room and get immersed into that story and start fleshing it out. And every, you open the door, let every weird idea come in and try it out, see if it fits. Where does it go? Sam Keith spent a lot of time reading cereal boxes and staring into his soup.
And heroic doses of psilocybin, which I personally endorse 100%. It is also part of my process occasionally, so I don't blame
Boys and girls, from a professional standpoint, that's called state-dependent learning.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite things to do, I like when I am on the road, if I have a day off, like I literally will just eat mushrooms and go to the zoo. And I'll just walk around the zoo for like 10 hours, just looking at animals. And by the end of my day, I'm like, I learned a lot today, guys. This was a
great day.
Now, see, I don't condemn, nor do I condone. I will just say I do exactly the same thing, but sober. I mean, under the influence of nothing but caffeine and nicotine.
Sure.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But I do the same thing, man. Laurie Calcaterra and I were cutting up one day, and we had the exact same experience wherein both of us had been caught just sitting staring off into space, and one of our loved ones said, "What are you doing?" And we both said, "Working."
Yeah.
I'm writing. I'm in my head and I'm writing.
Yeah.
So So Deese, you have a book that's out right now.
Yes, I do. Actually, and for any listeners right now, there is 15 minutes left on the Kickstarter. We're at 4660. We're trying to get to $5,000 by the end of this thing.
Let's do this thing. Let's do that. I didn't know it was that close.
Yeah, so I mean, to be fair, I set the actual goal at 3,500, so we are fully funded. I'm really trying to get to $5,000 so I can do the full print run on this, and then fully fund number 2.
Pops, can you bring up the campaign for us?
So
now Deese, you obviously have a pretty good reach because you were damn near funded within 24 hours.
Yeah, we fully funded in 5 days. So we hit most of it in about 3 days. We were pretty much there, and then we tipped over 3,500 in 5 days. And
so
then
my question is, and the other creators that are watching want to know this. It's the number one question we all ask: How did you get the word out? How did you get your backers? What was your avenue for doing that?
Man, that's a good question. I'm not sure I did anything magic. I will say I did about 3 podcasts a day for the couple weeks leading up to it, and then during it.
Right.
So I was just going all over media tour. I kind of have a little bit of a base of a following with comedy. And so, I mean, I've got people I was, that are interested in what I do. So I was reaching out to them. Just a lot of boots on the ground promotion. I mean, I don't think it's anything people haven't thought of. It's just
it's just that you laid the groundwork. You already had you had a good following before you ever launched.
Yeah, and I was prepared. I set up the launch page well in advance. I gave I think 4 to 6 weeks of runway leading up to launching to try to get as many followers following the page. And then I just promoted the hell out of it. And I did a lot of personalized messages. I did emails, a campaign. So we really, really wanted to just get it to as many people as we could.
All right. So real quick, before this 13 minutes runs out here, Pops, go ahead and play the trailer on this thing. And let's see if we can get to 50 backers. Let's get 3 more backers in here. All right, you guys really need to hear the premise of this thing. So, Deese, lay that down for the people watching.
Yeah, so I bill it as a bloody neo-noir crime thriller, which it is that in a sense, but that's probably a little bit misleading. It's really the premise is suicide by vigilantism. So Stan is a loser who's lost it all. He has nothing to live for. So he wants to go out with a bang, quite literally. So he goes out on the streets, assuming he'll die in a night. Madness ensues. He lasts a little bit longer than he thinks he will. And it kind of goes on from there. But really, vigilantism and superhero heroics are very little to do with this story. It's very much a character piece about Stan and loss and trauma, what we've all gone through when we're at our lowest and have nothing left to live for, and the lengths we go to gain any semblance of control in a world that's spinning out of control around us.
Look at this. All right. The premise to this blows my mind. What a great concept. This guy is pretty much, like he said, trying to commit suicide by going out being a vigilante. He wants to die, but he doesn't. Now, is it that he can't die, or he keeps getting lucky? What's happening here?
Well, you're gonna have to read it for that.
Right.
Without giving too much away. I will say this: there's not really any mysticism or superpowers or anything like that. It's very much grounded in reality. So he.
Hey, Matt Barr, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, we talked about this before, Deese, and I was just blown away by the concept. The writer in me went, "Oh my God, this opens up so much," just as a strong premise. So Stan can you give us a little backstory on Stan? How does he get to the point where he just wants to go out here and end it all?
Well, without giving away too much, I'll say this. I have this saying that, like, the worst thing that's ever happened to you is still the worst thing that's ever happened to you, right?
Right.
Meaning that's different for everyone. But no matter what it is, it could be you lost your bike, or it could be your parents were murdered in front of you in a alley after you just saw Zorro. Those two things are to those two people. That's the pain is just as bad, because it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them at that as so far. So what we're trying to convey is that sometimes it's not always this big traumatic incident. It could just be these small microcosms of life adding up,
falling down. Yeah.
Yeah. And feeling like you just can't do it anymore. And, everyone has a different, I know everyone has felt that way in life at some point, and everyone's felt that for a different reason, and their reason is valid enough in that moment. So there's not necessarily, what we're exploring here is that there's not always a big, here's why this happens, and and now you have to enact justice. It's, hey, sometimes life is just too much, and that's okay.
Yeah. And so the guy, the notion hits him. I'm going to go out on the streets, and I'm going to get killed by being a vigilante. That's the goal. We're at 47 backers, 7 minutes to go. Yes. 7 minutes to go, boys and girls. Look, jump on this. How much is the comic, and how many pages is it? That's always the meat and potatoes here.
So it's 26 pages, full color comic book. This is number 1 of 10. Number 2 is in the works as we speak. My artist has the pages. He's working on them. It's the digital copy is $10. Physical copy is $20. That does include shipping, though, so there's no shipping charge on top of the $20 for the physical copy. We've got signed copies. I even have my 1 hour comedy special packaged in some of these. So I think for $30 you can get my 1 hour comedy special, digital download of the video, as well as a physical copy, and also so
for those just tuning in, Deese's day job is he's a very successful stand-up comedian. That's what he does full time. That's his job. And I went and looked him up on YouTube and watched some of his stuff. The dude's funny. All right. Not a lot of people make me laugh. He made me laugh.
If any of you are in Dallas, I'll be in Dallas this Friday. So come check out it. Follow me on Instagram. Check out the show.
Yeah.
Laurie down there.
What's the venue?
No, God, I'll have to look at my it's just north of Dallas, in like a suburb of Dallas. I forget what it is.
Plano, Garland.
It's in, I think it's like near Frisco.
Okay.
So yeah, check it. It's like 40 minutes north of Dallas. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's on there. I think it should be anyway. So
we got Bruce Q Wayne in the chat over on Pilled. What's up, Bruce?
What's up, Bruce? Good to see you, buddy. Omer Glitch says losing a job, losing a loved one, loss of a relationship, anything can trigger somebody. Now, as a retired counselor, I can attest to that. In any given population of 100 or more, 2 people will die every year from either addiction related issues or mental health related issues, even when they're getting help. So for those not getting help across the world, you can extrapolate that to understand a lot of people get triggered by an event every single day and they snap.
Yeah.
And, we see a lot of that in comic books, but the idea of I'm going to end it all by going out and being a vigilante, that's fresh to me. That's fresh. I don't know anyone else doing that.
5 minutes left, people.
It was a concept that just hit me. The idea, I kept hearing the phrase "suicide by cop," so I cut. And then my brain said "suicide by vigilantism," and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting concept. And I started pursuing that idea and doing some research, and I hadn't seen anyone really use that.
Right. Me either. That was really fresh. I remember kind of something similar was in The Watchmen, where they're reminiscing about the guy that kept punish me, and Rorschach dropped him down the elevator shaft, so he did death by vigilante,
right?
Not vigilantism.
Sure, yeah. So I mean, it just was like an idea I felt had some legs, and I kind of started thinking about the story I wanted to tell. My best friend and another comedian, just a couple months before COVID started, he actually killed himself. So that was some, kind of gave me a little bit of perspective. I spent a lot of time ruminating on that at the beginning of COVID, and this really kind of sprang from a couple different things. And it I think was a catharsis to tell a story about someone who wants to end it all, and why someone shouldn't, and maybe why someone should. And that's not me advocating for it, but I'm why someone would feel that way. You know what I mean? I'm not advocating for anyone doing that.
Right.
What I'm advocating for is that no matter why someone feels that way, it's valid.
Yeah. Every single person's experience with the world is subjective to them.
100%.
Everybody watching on Pilled, there's only 1 minute left. 1 minute. If you're watching on Pilled, there's only 1 minute left. Right?
There's no such thing as that's no big deal.
Yeah.
You never know the degree to which someone's hurting. So, I feel obligated as a counselor to say this, and Tanner will help me with it. If you're in acute distress right now, call 911 or go to the nearest ER, get help. Tanner, where do veterans call?
I want to say it's 882 or 288. Let me, I get it mixed up all the time.
Yeah. We got a lot of veteran buddies. Tanner and I are both veterans, and we stay connected with our world.
Yeah.
And,
what do they say? 1 in 4 veterans now?
Yeah, it fluctuates, but that's pretty on the money. Yeah. And this is the thing, most
988. 988.
If you're a veteran and you're feeling, like you can't go on, hit 988 because you can. You can go on. Just remember, when the day is too long, just worry about the next few minutes.
Yeah.
That's all you have to focus on. 1 day at a time after that, till it's 1 week at a time, until it's 1 month at a time. 1 minute to go, 47 backers. Let's get, come on, guys. Let's get a backer. $10 for the PDF, $20 for the 26-page floppy.
And that's kind of, again, the story I was trying to tell is it's, because, Stan's soon confronted with the conflict that he is not altruistic. He selfishly wants to die, but he is unintentionally doing good in this neighborhood. And now the neighborhood starts to revere him as a hero and feel like they can't live without him. So now he's stuck in this internal conflict of like, oh, I want to die. These people think I'm more, and that actually makes him feel even worse, because now,
don't lean on me. Don't lean on me. Don't count on me to be your hero.
And that's kind of the journey.
What a great conflict!
Oh man, yeah.
What a great conflict! I love it.
I
love it. So, let me ask you this: once this thing goes into production, are you going to keep it in demand?
We're gonna keep the prints for #1 moving. We will definitely be packaging it with #2 and retroactively being able to make it so everyone can get past copies. We want to make it accessible. That's I don't want to make it so no one else can do this again. We're gonna
because I definitely want to get it, but the wife's shopping and she's got my credit card. So.
We'll be able to do it, and we do have the campaign set up for late pledges too. So you'll still be able to get a copy after. I probably will keep that running until we launch #2, which we're probably
fantastic.
About 2 months out till that happens. So that's
fantastic.
We definitely. I want to get a copy, and that's not gratuitous. I don't do that for everybody that comes on the show, but I'm intrigued by this and I want to read it. Let's talk a little bit about, as we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 here to 0. Wait, fireworks! Yay! Fun! Yay! This is not the only thing you've written. This is not your writing intro. It's not your debut.
Correct. Oh. Yeah, I actually published a book back in 2011. Obviously, written a ton of comedy. I've written for comedy websites, shows, all sorts of stuff. Some short films, sketch comedy. I've written a million things over the years. So, tell us about your book. So the book was a psychological thriller that I wrote. It's called Insomniac. You're probably going to have trouble finding it now unless you are in my garage. There's still some copies there. They might be floating around somewhere out there. A couple people have told me they've still found some copies. But I did kind of a small independent print run with the company. We sold couple thousand copies of this book, which I considered a success considering I was no one at the time as far as a writer. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I had a huge success selling copies. This was back in the MySpace days, like late MySpace.
Yeah.
And I was just cold messaging people with the information on the book, and I sold a ton of copies that way. But it was actually, the funny thing about the book is it was partly based on a comic book I wrote. So I was writing this noir. I kind of love the noir genre. So I was writing this crime noir detective story, and I just kind of was like, I was writing these panels or drawing these panels. And at the same time, I was doing comedy, I was traveling, and I was writing. I used to go when I used to drink, I would go sit at bars during the day and just drink whiskey, and I would just write. I would just write stream of consciousness, whatever was coming to my brain. I didn't want to, I didn't have a plan. I wasn't trying to write specifically, just stream of consciousness stuff.
Sure.
And I wrote kind of this interesting, like 1.5, 2-page thoughts, just kind of like first person monologue, kind of depressing, satirical expose type thing. And I within the year I was looking at that, and I was looking at this comic book. I like 5-6 pages I'd done, and I'm like, I go, these might be the same. I go, what if I put this guy's voice on this comic book? And then I'm like, the ideas started flowing, and I'm like, I think this is a book. So I wrote it into a book, and it's
So would you, did I hear you correctly? The book is actually a noir detective type thing?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We got to talk.
It's kind of a psychological thriller, noir. Yeah, definitely. It's about a drunk detective who is living 2 lives simultaneously. One of them is linear, and the other one is this one event that just keeps repeating with slight variations, and they weave in and out, and he's trying to figure out what's reality, what's not, and this case that he's trying to solve, and how that connects the 2 realities. I'm actually working on adapting it, kind of retroactively adapting it back to a comic book now.
Or a graphic novel, yeah.
Yeah, that's my plan, is to I've started kind of figuring out the beats of getting it. It's interesting trying to take a manuscript for a book now and how to put that back into comic book form, So, but that's what I'm working on now.
Hell yeah. So, by the way, boys and girls, if you're watching, I am also a writer and artist, and I also have a noir book out right now, funding over on Fund My Comic. Take a look. That's what's up. You can find it over on Fund My Comic. Back it today. Get your copy. Glenn Fleming, who is another master creator from the UK, has been doing Hatch since dinosaurs roamed the earth.
There's more boxes, Glenn.
Chimes in and says, You need more boxes.
Yeah, I need more. I do need more boxes because I don't have the space for books that need to be put away. Yeah, I do actually need more boxes. That's true.
Oh Lord, here we go. The second most handsome man on the internet is, of course, Tanner. The first being Glenn Fleming.
Thank you.
Now, where he tries to speak the truth most of the time, I am always 100% right 100% of the time. And here's the formula for that, Deese. Do you know my formula for being right 100% of the time?
Being a white guy in America.
No, that makes you wrong. It makes you hated.
Well, in the media's eyes, but not in God's.
So here's the formula. You ready? It's simple. If someone asks you a question and you know the answer, answer the question. If they ask you a question and you don't know the answer, you can say, I don't know, but here's what I think.
Yeah.
And number 3 is go, oh.
Yeah.
100% right.
What a novel concept in today's society.
Right.
To admit you are uneducated on something.
Exactly right. I can't tell how many times I've had someone say to me, oh, you're always right. Well, what about blah, 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 blah? I go,
Yeah.
Well, see, I defer to those who know. I've always been that kind of a guy. Instead of going out there and arguing about something I don't know anything about, I would defer to somebody who knows about it. I mean, you want to argue with him because he knows all about it. He'll put you in your place.
Yeah, I got no.
Love that mug, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I can't see it. What is it?
It's simple.
Oh, hell yeah.
There you go.
I mean, that's almost as cool as, my own merchandise.
I love that mug too.
Speaking of, Tanner, you got a damn dirty thing in, didn't you?
I did. It was super exciting.
I got to get you the novella.
Yeah,
I didn't know you just got the comic.
Yeah, me too.
Screw you. You're not getting
it. Truth read it. Didn't even get a copy of it.
There's in addition to the comic book, A Damn Dirty Thing, there is a novella. I think it's 114 pages because I just got more to say in noir than I do anything else. I love noir, but I'm picky about noir the same way I say I love fantasy, but I'm picky about fantasy. Like, don't bring me R.A. Salvatore and tell me it's great fantasy. It ain't. It's the Harlequin romance version of fantasy. No interest whatsoever. Dritz Stewart is just, get out of here. I don't want to read books about your D&D campaign, all right? Yeah. I'm not interested. I like Tolkien. I like Stephen Brust, or Brust. Let me say it right, Brust. I like good fantasy, just as I like good noir. So not everything that's noir is good, and I'm picky. I belong to a group on Facebook that's noir lovers or something like that. And they'll go, oh, here was this really great blah, 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 blah. Listen, Tanya, let me tell you something there, eyebrows.
Girl.
I'll slurp on my channel if I want to. And they'll post all these. Oh, this was a great noir, and I don't comment, but I go, yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. You just happen to like that one, but it's not. It doesn't.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with something like noir. Is it's an easy genre to kind of fall into if you want to feel like a mood. Like you can create a mood easily with it, yeah. But it's tougher to follow through with the story that matches that mood.
Exactly
it's
right.
a very easy mood to imitate and make people, because if you're just like, oh, this setting, it gets people into a mindset. They just you got to have something to follow up with it. That's why I say, like, my book definitely noir. Kill Stan definitely like I would call it neo noir at best. It's kind of a list leader. It's definitely a crime. Got some crime elements, but it's not quite as in a darker feel, but not like a whodunit detective.
Someone asked Deese on that same chat group. Well, what is the definition of noir? This one guy had the perfect definition. He fired it out instantly. He said, a dame with a past and a dude with no future.
Hey, there you go.
Ah!
That's a good. That is a good definition. Then you're gonna get both those in Kill Stand. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and yes, Vince, I would consider Sin City to be classic noir.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the gory side of noir, but it's
Yeah.
noir all day.
It's still noir.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
The writing was just freaking genius on that. It's like just like we were talking about with Sam Keith. Frank Miller caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah,
Sin
yeah.
City.
Yeah.
Well, also, I think those books they benefited. It was a benefit and a downfall for them the time they came out, because you're talking mid '90s when like the industry was collapsing and everyone was leaning into these like really shticky things with capes. You know, like we're have to do Clone Saga, we got to do Superman, Batman dies. You know, like there was very like gimmicky.
Yes,
and then you've got Frank Miller doing. Like, I'm going to do this 3-color crime noir, not superhero at all thing.
Right.
Which benefited it, but also hurt it. I think it became more popular later than it did at the time.
Well, I mean, I remember coming across it when, I was over 16, 17, at like Walden Books or something like that. Tower Records, I don't know, something of that nature. But it was in the graphic novel section.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? Sin City.
Yeah.
And it almost had that, oh man, should I even be looking at this? Type thing. Connotation.
I remember the mood of the fan base in the 90s when Image was breaking in and Marvel and DC were doing all the gimmicks. It was, everyone felt so like they do now. They felt betrayed. We've invested so much in Peter Parker, and you're going to tell me that was a clone and this ain't. People were livid and they were looking for something real and deep that they could grab a hold of. So that's when you had Sin City and Watchmen and some other stuff come out that was just grab you by the throat and don't let go. But you had to be willing to walk away from the traditional capes.
Yeah.
And I certainly was. I was working in comics back then, and I could not get with some of the Image aesthetic. Like, I called that art pizza with everything on it, versus that nice clean style you got with John Byrne or George Perez.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it. I did not like what they were doing with multiple issue one, multiple covers, this, that, the other, every gimmick. It was a lot to me like walking down a carnival midway with barkers trying to get you to come play their game or see the sideshow. I had no interest in that whatsoever. So when things like that popped up, I was like, hell yeah, that's the real. Yeah. That was Sam Keith. That was Ben Edlund with the Tick. That was Cerebrus before it went sideways, or Cerebrus, however you say that. Bone by Jeff Smith. These indies that were really fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I even think, Sandman was able to break out and become something because that was, even though technically it was from DC, it was under their Vertigo imprint, and you've got, that was something where people were like, oh, I want to go so far away from this, whatever's happening.
Yes.
Vertigo was revolutionary as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Death, the high cost of living.
Yeah.
I mean, just money hand over fist. No capes anywhere in sight. It was amazing. Just really good stuff. And this is the other side of that. Okay. We're now in another era where the mainstream comic industry hates your guts. They hate you. Fortunately, indies are booming like never before, man. You can find content like Kill Stan, A Damn Dirty Thing, Pariah, Sanctum of Hate, Electric. All the creators that are in the chat right now all have these great intellectual properties, and I'm proud to have met these guys and know them, and be able to get behind their projects, because there's no filter, there's no corporate mission. It's just here's my thing that I love, and I'm making it for you. I love that.
Yeah, we need more of that. I mean, it's I still am monthly comic book reader, and I pick up X-Men still because like that's I just out of habit, and I'll breeze through it and be like, well, that was nothing, and then I'll you'll find some indie books that I just chew up and love. I mean, there's still a couple creators out there. I generally love what they do. Like I think Ed Brubaker is still pretty genius. When you want to talk about crime noir, that I think he's the king as far as especially modern comic books, or a lot of Greg Rucka's stuff is so good. Rick Remender's
Greg Rucka is awesome.
Rucka, Brubaker, Joe Casey, and Bendis in the late 90s, early 2000s just completely like changed the way I looked at writing comic books. So
I can say that when it comes to artists, it's like the thing I like about indies is it's not completely rushed out of a month-to-month timeline, and the artists actually have time to draw stuff that make me spend a second in that panel. Okay, I don't want to just look any Marvel, any DC book right now. You can read it in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing that makes you stick on a panel. There's nothing that makes you look for Easter eggs or anything. You know what it's going to be. You just read it and breeze through it, and it's done.
And
with the indies, it's like we get that. We get people that actually draw stuff in the background. They make you spend a minute on that. Give us a reason to read the book and look seriously.
And there's no
at the art,
house style.
Oh yeah.
Every artist is unique, and they bring something different to the table. You can see their influences in it. Like I can look at someone's work and know, okay, this guy got into comics in the 90s. This guy got into the golden age. This guy's silver age. You can see the influences, but it's still distinct. It's unique. It's their own thing. And I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
I just like anybody like that. The one that comes to mind mainly is like Ed Gein Demon Hunter. You can't breeze through that book. There is too many Easter eggs. There's too much stuff buried in every freaking panel. And you get to spend an hour reading that book, and then you go back and read it again in a couple of days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're also not stuck by like, oh, I have to make sure Stan does this because the next crossover's in 3 months, and we gotta, you can tell a genuine, impactful, meaningful story, whatever that means to the particular creator and their audience, because you're not beholden to a larger universe. You're not beholden to editors. You're not beholden to a timeline. You're not beholden to the next crossover event.
Right.
And, you just are telling a story, and that's like personally, that's why I write finite stories. Like I don't have these sprawling, perpetual. I want to do this book for 300 issues. And I this is 10 issues because I want to tell this story of this part of this guy's life, and then we'll never visit it again. Because less is more.
Pariah is 3 and done.
Yeah, there you go.
It's 3 graphic novels and done. Jake Bishop, on the other hand, I'll keep that shit going forever. That's my ride or die. Because why wouldn't you? It's a noir detective. I can tell those stories.
Yeah, that's evergreen right there.
Yeah. The writing in indies is fresh. Some of it's better than others. But you won't know till you buy it. You actually have to invest. You got to put some skin in the game to get into indies as a collector. You have to be willing to back a book. Hey, that looks interesting, so we're going to back it. And that's one of the reasons we all do what we do here on the YouTubes and Pilled and Rumble is to get the word out and to talk to the creator, so you get to know the creator and their creation. Because you can't know everything about the book. That's spoilers. But you can know enough to go, okay, I'm in.
I used to watch the show called Anti-Gravity Room, and you'd get little tidbits like Nick's comic picks of the week type thing. But he was always into indies and stuff like that, and so that's how I got into like Sandman and Death.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Strangers in Paradise, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, another good one. And that just goes to show. I mean, Strangers in Paradise is one I always talk about when I'm like, hey, how about when you think comic books as far as, because it's a medium but people only think of the genre of superheroes when they think comic books. I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's probably 80% of the industry, but there's so much more out there. And I always point to Strangers in Paradise as a book that's like, you can do this, you can do this in comic books, and or like look at some of the stuff like Why the Last Man, Brian K. Vaughan, and some of the stuff.
I just tell people straight up, there's a comic book about everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There is.
We will show you a comic. Somebody went college basketball. I went Michael Jordan. Ding, pull it right up. NC State or UNC, whatever. They had the Michael Jordan cards and comic books. Yeah. It's like, comic book about every damn thing. Everything.
All right, boys and girls, we've reached that point in the show where we're going to play a couple of things from some friends of ours to get their product out in front of your eyeballs. So take a look at some of this, will you?
Lieutenant Rogers, this is a time-sensitive critical mission. You must pre-see the Nazi force and secure the artifact, then get to the extraction point before they arrive. Failure to do so will result in being hopelessly outnumbered.
It's time we take the fight to bed.
The news we have of the Allied invasion of northwestern France is still in that direction from the assertion.
For fulfilling this high objective.
Along the whole North African coastline, the Allies can strike simultaneously.
Space. A vast, dark void in need of exploration. Yeah, right! Space isn't about exploring, it's about getting rich. What's the fastest way to get rich? By collecting the splinters of Yggdrasil for glorious bounty. Too bad it's also the quickest way to get dead. Join Mistress Graven and her crew of scantily clad scoundrels as they sail the stars in search of the splinters of Yggdrasil. Magic, mayhem, and miniskirts in space. Go to abochrysly.com to learn more. See you soon, matey.
And we're back. We're talking to Deese Casillas.
Yes, that's okay.
Casillas. I can do this. My white privilege is not going to get in my way. Deese is a stand-up comedian who is also a writer, who has a book over on the Kickstarter. The campaign just closed, but I think it's going to stay up in demand.
Yep. There's you can do late pledges and still get the book right now. So
called Kill Stand. It's over on Kickstarter. The link is in the chat. Get over and give it a look. It's something different. It's definitely something different. Carrie wants to know, Levi, when is the sign up for Galaxy Memorial Park? And by the way, the sign up for Pariah Sanctum of Hate will be launching here within the next 14 days. November 11th. Carrie says, well, that makes sense. Thought you guys remembered those who served on a different date to us Brits, but November 11th, cool. Yes. What, Pops?
That's not Memorial Day, though. That's the day sign up starts for the book. November 11th.
Oh, Armistice Day.
Yes.
Anyway, yes. I forgot where I was going next. We've got more trailers to play. Listen, not going to play them all right now, but my God, there are so many outstanding projects out there. I'm excited to see Galaxy Memorial Park. Levi has a truly unique, raw, visceral style that just looks great. I love it. Of course, everyone knows John Dillard. John is probably the best among us, him and Jim O'Reilly. Love the guy's work. The Abo Grizz, you can't go wrong with Abo Grizz. That's just
plain fun.
Yeah,
fun.
Good stuff, guys.
You will have a ball. Of course, there's good stuff. You got Brian Christgau's Six Gun Gorilla out there. Just freaking amazing body of work. I love it. Yeah, hey Levi, you got to give me a shorter trailer though, dude. I like them at about a minute. But sometimes it's good to have a longer trailer because it gives me time to go take a whiz and come back. This time
we have one long one in there just in case.
Yeah, we saved one long one in the back.
Remember?
Yeah.
This is the Satellite Girl one that he made. Like 2.5 minutes long or something.
Yeah. Save one of those.
Me and Chris argued over that one, but and I lost. So
I go running through the house to get a cup of coffee on this last break. And I'm like, oh, cool. The very first one, John's, is like 1.5 minutes, almost 2 minutes. I got time. I can boogie to the kitchen, grab a cup of coffee, get back. Yeah, I didn't anticipate my wife and stepdaughter in the middle of the floor in my way, defleeing the dog. God, you got to move. Hey, Charles, good to see you. Charles Adams, a writer from back in the day in the 90s, is also a huge collector. He's got about the same number you do. He's around 35,000, 40,000 comics. Everyone say hi. Crazy Comic Collector is Charles Adams.
What's up, Charles?
Deese, you said that Kill Stand is 10 issue, miniseries, maxi series, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans following Kill Stand, or to continue the series maybe with a different, character with different mental status or something?
As for what happens with the with Kill Stand moving forward, you're gonna have to read the book to find out where that book ends and lands. That is the end of the story for Kill. I like to write finite stories, so you'll have to. But there may be something that spins out of those pages if you read the book and find out. As for personally, yeah. So I mentioned earlier, I'm working on getting my novel kind of morphed back into comic book form, which it originally was. That is on the docket, but I've got dozens of projects that are written that I want to do. I'm debating between two follow-up projects right now. They're both probably about 20-25 issue series. So, and wildly different, which is kind of the idea. Is every project I want to be very different than the previous one, because I want a breadth of work in the portfolio for people, because if someone comes in because of this project and becomes a fan of that, they can be like, oh, well, this guy also writes, and then opens him up to another genre, and then it opens them up to more genres in general.
Absolutely.
That's what this whole network was based on, bro. Networking and promoting. That's basically that. Everything we do started with that idea in mind, is getting people to share each other's stuff and help each other's reach get longer.
Yeah. And not only that, yes, and that it just, as a creator, I don't want to be just creating one genre or one type of thing in repeating that, as I like the challenge of, a completely different genre. I mean, the next book that will likely come out from me is really about a teenage girl coming of age and, questioning purpose in the world, sexuality, and everything like that. Now, there's a fantastical genre kind of theme on top of that, but really it's a lot of just childhood and coming to grips with what it means to grow up. That's kind of most likely the next project I'll tackle. There's one other one that I like a lot that I've been writing for a long time, that but I may let it cook a little longer, because it's probably the one that means the most to me.
Is that your magnum opus?
Yeah. It's very tied into ancestral roots and things that familial ties and things that mean a lot to me. So I'm really trying to make sure that's, and also my hope is that something like that can be delivered to a bigger audience by that time, too.
Sure.
There'll be, Kill Stan is an important story and it means a lot to me, but I also felt it was a shorter. It was something that could be more accessible, open to more people, and impactful, and just kind of like a lower, just kind of an easier entry point for a lot of people before we went to higher concept stuff. It just seemed more digestible in my head. Maybe it's not. I don't know. That's just what I felt. So my hope is that by the time I get to the third project, the window is wider and I can get that to a larger base.
So
absolutely.
I don't know if you're like me, Deese. I've got more ideas than I've got time left on Earth.
Yeah, 100%.
So my solution is, and hear me out, Deese. You try this out. All right, we get mega rich, and then we pay everyone to make the books that we come up with. That's just my idea. That's a business model that I've come up with. As I sit here on my pile of money, I'll do that.
You just added to your pile of money.
Honestly, there probably is going to come. Hopefully come a point where I can start delegating some properties out. And what I mean by that is it'll probably be like, here's the plot, here's script beats, and then with some supervision, but maybe me not fully scripting everything, just because that's kind of the dream scenario, because there's no way I can fully write everything I want to write.
Exactly. Carrie wants you to know, Deese, and it's very important to her. She just backed you, and she can't wait to read it.
Carrie, thank you so much. We'll be getting stuff out relatively soon. So, yeah.
And she can never leave things well enough alone. Hook my British pounds, keep your bum toasty and supported, Deese.
Oh yeah. Well,
because Carrie's got to carry.
The way the U.S. dollar is going, I'm sure British pounds will be worth more anyway soon. I'll take Prussian francs.
Look, at this point, we'll take monopoly money. Come on.
Listen,
I'm gonna tie my economy to the peso, baby.
The Federal Reserve has totally fucked our dollar. You don't want me to go on a U.S. economy, Federal Reserve, Saudi oil money rant on this. It'll go deep. It'll go deep.
Come on my other show, and we'll rock that all day.
Yeah.
We go hard and we go deep on my other show.
Yeah, I do have lots to say on that, but I don't want to derail. But thank you, Terry. I will.
Yeah.
I'll spend it on singing trumpets.
We're blessed here on the coffee shop to have a lot of UK and Eastern or Western European supporters, followers, whatever you want to call them. I just call them my family, the chat. They're awesome.
You got people in the chat right now from the Netherlands, from the UK, America.
And I deliberately chose this time slot so that, it's pretty appealing even over there. Because it's after tea time. It's time to sit down and chill out and watch something. So
Aussies are just waking up, just like catch everybody. Right?
Yep.
Catch everybody.
Fighting for their lives over there against whatever's trying to kill them currently. I assume it's crazy there.
If it's not the funnel web spiders and the 5,000 foot long alligators, it's their own government. So God bless you, Aussies.
The ostrich genocide. I don't know what they're fucking dealing with.
You have been well behaved, Carrie. Yeah,
you have, Carrie. You have.
Monday Madness, I come out here with two noobs, two people who have never been on any network shows or anything. I never met them before. Carrie's in the chat first thing talking about some lesbian shit. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Carrie's got to carry no matter where Carrie goes.
Carrie's going to carry. You're just going to have to hang out.
All right, so we're gonna. Jesus Christ!
There it is, right there. That's how she entered the chat, started the show on Monday Madness.
Gold star lesbian, huh? What you have a Subaru pulling a U-Haul ready to move them in right away? That's the gold star. Right? First date, right? I think that's
the imagery just flashed before my eyes.
Thank you, Carrie. We love you, baby.
All right, boys and girls, it's about that time where we got to wrap this thing up. These pages
just rescinded her donation to my.
These anytime you want to come out and talk unfiltered with us, just let me know because we have a place for that.
Okay, yeah.
We don't even put it on YouTube. We have a place where we go and we're cool. So
I'm all about it. Yeah.
So these pages won't draw themselves, boys and girls. I got to get back to work, to the real world. Deese, thank you for coming out. I look forward to getting a copy of Kill Stan and following your other work.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the continued success. When the door's always open, feel free to pop in anytime.
Yeah, we'd love to. I'll keep you posted on the when the next book's done, and we'll do it again.
Absolutely, Tanner. Good to have you back, brother.
Good to be back.
Man, the show is not the same without Tanner. He is the wind beneath my wings.
Can I do a little quick shameless plug?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Guys, if you're listening, please follow us on inferno.earth on Instagram. That's also our website, inferno.earth. There's no .com. The porn sites took all those. It's just inferno.earth. And you can also follow us on Inferno Comics on Facebook. Getting a larger social media following does help with getting into conventions and stuff. They do look at the size of your following to bring to that convention. So it does mean a lot to get followers, even if you can't donate to the campaign. You can follow us on Instagram. That's free. Plus, you get good content. If you want to support, we still have Kill Stan. You can do late pledges and still get copies of the book. We've got a couple cool exclusive covers up there that are only going to be available there. So check that out. You can also, I'll be in Dallas this weekend. I am doing comedy in Dallas on Friday night, but Saturday, Sunday, I'll be at the Dallas Fan Expo. So if you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area, come to the convention. I have copies of Kill Stand there.
There you go.
So I've got physical copies ready to go. You can get one in hand signed for free. And also follow me on Instagram at deese.comedy for my comedy stuff. Deese Comedy is the website. I've got a special up there. Hour of my comedy you can get. It's all name your price right now. So you
I'm
can
going to do that right now.
Yeah, you can get like $5, $10, or you can even pay $1. It's a dick move, but you'll still get the special.
These, the sister show to this show, the one that plays on Tuesday morning, Laurie Calcaterra, she's going to be at Dallas Fan Expo.
Okay.
She has a book called Path of the Pale Rider. Go trade books with her.
Yeah. I'll track her down. Let's have her. Yeah, I'd love to talk to her. The real deal is, though, if you like the comic book, you like comedy, you can go to the Kickstarter and you can get a copy of the comic book signed and my comedy special digital download to watch on video forever for just $30, the whole thing. So you can get that's the best deal. Go get that. It's an hour of stuff. It's funny stuff. If you have delicate sensibilities, buckle up. I don't know. It's a fun time.
I'm ready to strap in. Heck yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's it's all jokes. They're jokes. We just have fun.
Honk, honk, clown shoes, jokes.
Make America fun again.
Yeah, right.
Laurie Calcaterra does a good show on Tuesdays. It's the second best coffee show on the network. Hit her up. Go on that show.
She also hosts Killer Karen. We have a new episode this Friday, 7 p.m.
All right.
Killer Karen is a different kind of show, Deese. I ain't lying. Okay. We just started doing it a few weeks back. There's a playlist on the Madness YouTube channel called Killer Karen. Go watch that show and ask yourself if you'd want to be a guest.
Oh, interesting.
On Killer Karen.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Doc's going to do it this week.
she roped me into it because I was not fast enough on my feet to think of a good lie to get out of it. So
what's the hook? What do they do?
Well, okay, Killer Karen, we played an RPG game called Slaughterville that was made by another member of the Madness, Chris Brown, and the characters that we created kind of took on a life of their own. And people started drawing pictures of them. We kind of made some backstory type stuff. And before you know it, we're hosting a show called Killer Karen. Now, let me just give you just a little teeny taste of who Karen is real quick.
Oh, no.
I have to load it into this.
No, don't do it.
Oh, yes.
Don't.
It's perfect.
Stop it. Get some help.
You're really gonna like this.
I don't know why, but you were watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
That looks like all the ladies that walk out of my comedy show. Carrie asked what my most offensive joke is. Carrie, I do. So I've got one joke that may not land if you're across the pond because it has to do with school shootings, and you guys don't have that problem.
Here's where we get canceled, boys and girls. Brace yourselves.
Let's not. I'll tell you this one. This is a joke that everyone will get because this religion ruled the world at one point. I grew up Catholic, I never believed, just wasn't my thing. Even when I was a little kid, I didn't believe in God. But we were raised Catholic school, the whole 9 yards. And it just wasn't for me, but I do still remember to this day, the very first time we ever went to church. As soon as that priest was finished, I pulled up my pants and I'm like, this is not for me. Gotcha,
bitch.
Holy,
there you go.
Oman, Potty Money Moo. All right, Pops, play us out of here.
Oh, shit, I wasn't even ready. Hold it. What are we going to do? You played everything, damn near.
I did not. There's plenty of material.
What do we got here? How about
Space. A vast, dark void in need of exploration. Yeah, right! Space isn't about exploring.